Welcome back to the Benoit Motors podcast, episode 2. Jason Benoit, how's it feel to be back?
I'm tired this morning, Brady.
Tired? Why are you tired?
My wife, she came.
That's not what you want to say.
Yeah, she came into town yesterday from New York visiting my daughter, and
yeah,
I guess we went to dinner with some friends last night, and shoot.
And then she had to talk.
We were staring at the clock at 1 a.m. So
what do they say? Women have 20,000 words a day to use, and so they got to use them no matter what. So something like that.
She says I'm the talker, though.
I believe that. I've been knowing you for a really long time. So, hey, hope you enjoyed the last episode. I got a lot of stuff, a lot of positive feedbacks. I told you one of them. Dude, I was literally in Rouse's in Sulphur, and I'm checking out. Do you remember I texted you?
I don't remember.
All right, so me and my son were checking out, I think we're getting like ice cream or something. And I turn around. I don't turn around. Someone goes, hey, I really enjoyed that podcast. Well, I do a lot of podcasts. I have like 4 podcasts I do. And I was like, oh, really? And they're like, yeah, oh my God, Mr. Jason, he was so good. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And that was in Sulphur. And I got in my truck. I texted you. I'm like, bro, someone just recognized me from the Benoit Motors podcast. So
actually,
anyway.
I was at First Federal Bank, and my banker was like, man, the podcast was good. And I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Me, I normally just go where y'all tell me to go and just
do it.
Just do whatever y'all tell me to do. But yeah, people
But
seem to
as
enjoy
long
it.
as I've known you, especially when it comes to videos and business, you always like to do conversational videos, interviews, more than, hey, come buy this car today.
Yeah, it makes me want to throw up.
This is the best of both worlds because we get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And so one thing that's near and dear to your heart that we'll talk about for our first segment is your the Benoit Motors community outreach. Is that what we call it? Outreach? I know we're from the church world. So.
Yeah, so we feel like that's a recipe for our success.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. We definitely that was a strategy when I came to town, and I felt like the community here would respond well to it. I think I mentioned lightly last time that I had worked where I worked prior in the different community. What we do up here wasn't new.
Right,
because it's happened. I'm not reinventing the wheel, of course, but just hadn't been doing that up here. So we really believe that commercials. I enjoy this kind of stuff,
right?
Because I'm not scripted and I can ramble, and if I talk too much, you could chop it up or whatever.
Right, we can bleep it out.
Yeah, but try to keep the F-bombs out or whatever. So, but anyway, but what I do know is that the community responds. Like I've always felt like if I can spend, the previous dealer I worked for spent $100,000 a month in advertising and marketing.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yes,
we saw so many commercials too. Yeah.
If that particular dealer, and who is a friend of mine of sorts, even to this moment, very someone that whether we do business together, because we're not business partners, but a friendly person. I felt like if we would have gave away $100,000 a month to the community and never shot a commercial, that business would still be the number 1 dealership in that particular area.
Yeah, I can see that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just believe that. And I believe that when I came here and people needed iPads for classrooms, it was an opportunity to get principals and teachers on board.
Yeah.
And we started seeing the return on that and the loyalty that came with that, from the community, So, and now, don't get me wrong, Brady, I mean, and I'll go ahead and hit the nail on the head. I mean, it is getting to the point where we give away so much.
Right.
And it's easy to say yes when everything's just great.
Right.
Every now and then you got to put a budget on things, and we have grown to the point. At first, when we came to town, I said yes to anybody that asked if it was nonprofit, church-related, or education-related. Kids, education, churches. Those were the 3 things. I believe in all 3 of those things, so it's easy to get behind them. But now, because I couldn't say, well, did you buy your car here? Well, no, I bought it at Joe Bob down the road. Well, you might want to go ask Joe Bob for the money then.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
You can't really say that.
Couldn't really say that right when I got here. But 4 years later, most people have bought a car in the past 4 years. I'm like, hey, did you give me an opportunity to service you?
Yeah.
And the best way to eliminate some of, if the people that buy cars from us, they just know, we're going to buy Johnny's football shirts and all that stuff. And it's so much fun.
So what has been your favorite, I'm picking your brain because it's been 4 years now.
Yeah.
All right. What has been your favorite outreach, whether it's a uniform, the football game? What has been is there one that just sticks out? That when you did it, you're like, oh. I know we're not supposed to talk about what makes us feel good when it comes to that.
Okay. I would say last year when the community, the BARC, B-A-R-C, Beauregard, it's older folks, some disabilities. I don't want to sit here and misrepresent the organization because I don't know everything about it, but I know they really help disabled folks. And when I was asked to help participate in representing the fundraiser for them, and so we were excited because we felt like up here we've been so blessed in Sulphur, Lake Charles. We've seen such effective fundraising and things, the way the community and the businesses there operate, and just great people. But here that hadn't been done, so I was excited to be able to be asked to do something, because it wasn't an opportunity for me to just write a check. It was an opportunity for me to use my team to show people how to do something, in my opinion. And I believe that they had said that the most that had ever been raised in the record, it's an annual event, was $9,000. And my event raised $38,000.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And the neat thing is we give away a lot of money. I mean, that $38,000 didn't come from me.
Yeah.
It came from the efforts of my team.
Right.
That was super proud. And yesterday I was having a conversation with Chief Craig Richard and the mayor at the City Hall. And I've always had a heart to give away things at Christmas to underprivileged families. And I never really had an avenue to do that. I remember last year I was headed to Disney for vacation on the way out for Christmas. That's my family's time. And something just tugged me. And I remember I didn't know who to give money to, but I felt like I needed to support a family. So I called Grace Church, talked to Pastor Glass, and he handled that. But this year, the police department, they host the kind of the toy drive every year for Beauregard Vernon, and they just asked us to co-host it with them this year, and be able to do that forever. So I'm looking forward to building into big things like that.
Yeah,
I love scoreboards because, let's face it, we're car guys. We're arrogant. We like our names on stuff. You know what I mean? I watching my grandson's soccer game. I like that all the kids have his name on the back of their shirt. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say that stuff didn't kind of stroke the ego a little bit.
Right, yeah, for sure.
But that's not where you get the wholesome feeling from.
No, I got you.
The wholesome feeling is probably those type of things.
And then right now you're in the middle for a kick for cash.
That's just a fun thing we've always done. And again, I tell you.
But y'all don't take any profit at all. Zero. So I'm not saying you lose money, but y'all even pay for all the everything?
I mean, we lose money because whatever, we don't. Some might say
you don't take your expenses out.
We don't take our expenses out.
Right.
Like we do the tickets for the schools, that's our expenses. We do this for the schools, that's our expenses.
How many schools right now?
We usually, all the ones that will allow us to go. When you get into Calcasieu Parish, there gets to be like some different school boards allow different things. Right. We'll just leave it right there. And Beauregard and Vernon, we do that here. But if you don't make the field goal, you don't get the $500. But just so you know, if they miss the field goal, we actually donate the $500 to the school. So
right.
we spend about.
So if you like the school, miss the field goal.
Yeah. Or if you like the school and you're like a proud, arrogant person like me, make it and then give away the $500.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so those are things that we do, and the team loves it, the community loves it. That's more marketing. I try to be very transparent. Certain things we do because I feel like it's our heart, and some things we do because it's business.
It's marketing budget.
It's marketing.
I got
it's
you.
Marketing. So anyway,
one of the coolest things that I got to be a part of with you, I know you remember this, but of course I used to golf a lot, and you invited me to play golf at Fort Polk because y'all were the sponsor of something at Fort Polk, and me and you got to play with the commanding general or the GC.
No,
general and command or command.
It was a 2-star general. Matter of fact, that was with General Frank, who's now at the Pentagon.
Really?
Yeah, he was moved from Fort Polk to the Pentagon, and we have another new 2-star general here that I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, but I played golf with him October the 7th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But God, General Frank, he telling us about the 101st Airborne, and man, that was, and then he gave us those medals. Remember the 101st?
office.
Yeah,
Yep.
I still got mine. So that was cool. So yeah, so you get to have community outreach and then also get rewarded with cool.
Yeah, and
little
what we
things
do
like
there,
that.
just so you know, I mean, we don't mention that, but the government is takes care of the military families and things. But they don't take care of all the recreational activities for them. So what we do is called the MWR program, and we're not the only sponsors. We are probably the highest contributing sponsor, but I think we give them $25,000-$30,000 a year. It's just an annual thing,
Right.
And what that does is they create movie nights on base for the military families, recreational activities. A lot of times fathers and mothers, females are deployed as well. So, one parent being deployed, so you got a single family here on base, new area. They maybe don't know. They're not from here, and so MWR is an organization at Fort Polk that is organized, but they use outside funding.
Okay, gotcha.
And so we support that, which is where it helps cover certain things at golf courses and go-kart tracks, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So we like to help families and kids.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, let's move on. Customer Corner. Here's the next segment.
Okay.
So in the car business, things have, even since I've been driving since I was 15. Back, you remember you could get your license at 15. How cool was that?
I remember.
Yeah, we were all part of that. I got my license at 15, and 2 months later, they changed the law. How great was that? So I was like the only freshman in school that could drive. But financing cars from 1997 to 2022, things have changed a lot. If I would have told my dad in 1997 that 84 months financing would be the norm, he probably would have punched me in the face. So for those who are buying cars right now, and maybe some older people, and they go into the finance office and they see 72 months, 84 months, how do they not have a heart attack?
Well, to be honest with you, I definitely don't want to be hypocritical about answering this question. I'm going to answer it as truthful as I can.
Please do.
I don't think it's a great idea to finance every car extended terms. I think that cars have to be, I think it's very, the reality is people have to fit their need into a budget.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'll give you if I was to try to create peace of mind about it, I'll tell you how I would argue that part first. I'd say, okay, well, here's the deal. So back in the 90s, if you bought a brand new truck for $27,000, $25,000, I worked at a Chevy store back then. So let's say we sold you a nice four-door Chevy Silverado, and we negotiated. We made that thing $35,000, whatever it was, $30,000 probably tops. You keep that thing 3 years, you trade it in, you got a $12,000 truck, $15,000 truck.
So it loses value.
So it's losing its value pretty rapidly. I can tell you that a used car hadn't lost its value in 2 years.
Right.
Now, it's about to start getting back to normal again. But as the price of the cars have, even in normal times, that same particular transaction now, let's call it an F-150. Those trucks aren't $25,000 or $30,000 anymore. They're $60,000.
Right.
All right? So that $60,000 truck now, if you drive it 3 years, it's not worth $15,000 anymore.
Right.
That truck's
50.
probably worth $50,000.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not like you're putting yourself in a worse residual resale position.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we had to go longer because the value of the products have went up.
Yeah.
But at 84 months now, what I don't like to see people do, my son.
Getting real now.
Like I found out yesterday. Okay. Like my son did not follow my advice about a vehicle acquisition, a purchase. And when I was out of town, went against my advice and bought a car that I didn't think was a good investment. And I had to get involved in it. And I didn't look at the deal for 3 months because I didn't.
Right.
He's a grown man. He's a grown man, right? So take my advice or don't. But then when there was a situation and we had a conversation, it triggered me to go back and look at this transaction and say, okay, would you be in this situation had you listened to me about this situation? Okay.
Right.
So and to be honest with you, I'm not trying to tattle on my kid, but the reality is I looked at his car deal. My son financed 2018. Okay. Mm-hmm. That vehicle's 4 years old right now.
Right.
For 84 months, which is 7 years.
7 years.
So that's going to be
11 years.
So that's going to be 11 years. It's going to be 11 years old when it's paid for, and deferred the first payment for 90 days. So this vehicle is going to be 11 years and 3 months old, a 4-door sedan, if and when it ever gets paid for. Would I say 84 months was a good decision there?
Probably not.
I can't use the language that I used when I saw it. Okay?
Yeah.
I can't.
That's where we bleep things up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just bleep, 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 bleep. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's not a good decision.
Right.
Okay. Somebody comes in here and they're buying a King Ranch. People drive around. My daddy drives around. I don't see how these people afford. Your daddy probably said, I don't see how these people all this money.
You know my dad.
See how these people afford all this big nice stuff. You know, my
Yeah.
daddy's got no debt. He's got a good job. He's got a government retirement. And he's like, I know I got more, but I couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
Well, because he won't finance a truck 84 months.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the world has just evolved. That truck that's somebody might pay $90,000 for, as crazy as that is, it happens.
Yeah.
Like, people finance that truck. Navy Federal Credit Union, for example, will do 96 months now.
96
now,
months.
we don't offer that here. That's an outside, but the industry starts there with credit unions, and then it comes back into mainstream. As the prices of the vehicles go up,
right,
the term's got to go longer.
For an affordable monthly note.
But it doesn't make you more upside down as long as the decision is a good decision.
Right.
It's just more money, and you're going to... Am I making sense?
No,
or do I got to keep
absolutely.
rambling?
No. So, yeah, the market value of the car will still be
really, really high.
Right.
It won't be the value of the car was. So you can't go more than 36 months. Oh, you can't go more than 60. Well, no, we're talking about like $10,000 cars, and 20 was the luxury car.
Dude, in 2004, I bought an F-150 Lariat wood grain. It was right when they changed the body style. Man, I traded in my F-350 4-door dually diesel because I wasn't rodeoing anymore. Went to a dealership in Beaumont, got it. I drove it home, and my dad's like, how long did you finance it for? I said 60 months. And he's like, oh my God, what are you doing 60 months? Like, you never finance a car longer than 36 or whatever. And so that was 2004.
I'm like, oh, Dad, that's why you've always drove them hoopties to drop me off at school.
Yeah. But again, different generation. I get that. Yeah. And so
sometimes it's stupid.
Right.
Okay. My son, in my opinion, made a really bad decision.
Yeah.
And but sometimes it's not a bad decision.
Right.
Okay. To buy the, so.
Are you going to be upside down and that type of, I've never been upside down in a car because my parents didn't help me out. They gave me that F-350.
That's right.
So I had a good trade-in on that 2004.
Your entire marriage, you've carried some positive equity.
I always had positive equity in our cars.
Yeah.
And just because my dad was able to set me up.
Sure.
Not everybody has that privilege.
That's right.
And
That's right.
So how much down? And now we're getting into nitty gritty, but this is customer questions.
I'm gonna answer them the best way I can.
Should people now put down money, like down payments? Is that an old way of thinking, or is that still new?
Some of this stuff is just personal preference. I'm a car guy, but I'm like a real conservative, physically conservative finance guy as well. And if I'm Dave Ramsey right now, I'm going to tell you don't even finance anything, right? So, and I'm not going to tell you that's wrong because that's a good way of thinking. It's I've kind of taken a shift. There's certain things it's okay to finance, and I'll give you percentages because people got to make their own choice. Okay?
Absolutely.
Most people don't put a lot of money down anymore. Okay, when I started selling cars, we penciled every deal. Pencil means, I was a salesman. The manager says, "Here, Jason, you go and you put this in front of them. They're going to jump out their seat, but you talk them down." And I remember the time I threw some numbers in front of a guy at Lake Charles Dodge, my first year selling cars. Literally, Plymouth Voyager. I insulted him on his trade so much. Really older gentleman, got up, marched out. He and his wife. I opened the back sliding door of the Voyager and I hopped in to just talk him back inside. So that was how it was.
I wish there was video of that.
We would pencil a deal and it'd be like 25% down, 20% interest. I mean, just nuts. And the thought was whatever they thought they were gonna pay when they got there, when you shock them on that first pencil. They're not going to pay that, but you just bumped them.
Right, yeah.
And now we're going to start talking about real stuff.
That's TikTok videos, by the way. Yeah. That's all over TikTok.
Like, we don't do that here at Benoit.
I was going to ask you if you do that.
It still happens some, and if it happens to you here, you walk right in my office so I can slap somebody upside the head. Because that is not what customers want, and that is not the automobile industry of the future.
Okay.
But... yeah, if you are in a good cash position, what I recommend, put down your TT&L, whatever, put down... You want to put down 10 or 20% just so that you know you're always in a positive position because you don't want to buy gap insurance. I can probably make an argument for every opinion.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But it just all depends on your financial
That's right.
situation.
Not everybody, and you know, when you're paying $5 a gallon for milk or whatever the case may be, not everybody has. Used to standard was 20% plus tax, title, and license. Well, let's figure that out. On a $10,000 car, you're like, all right, you got to come up with $3,000. On an $80,000 King Ranch, I didn't take a math class. I don't know what that is, but it's a lot,
dude. Like thinking back, so I paid $39,000 for that 2004 F-150 Lariat, and dude, I thought I was rolling. Like $39,000. That same truck now, add $30,000 to it.
Yep.
And how many? That was 2004. So yeah, it was 18 years ago. God, man, that's crazy. But that's why I think people are a little gun shy to buy, because they see these and they want to keep their monthly notes. Because all the TikTok videos. Have you seen any of these? Are you on TikTok?
I'm not.
Oh my God, we got to get you on TikTok.
Because if I get on TikTok, I'm probably going to troll my daughter, and that will probably not end well. I probably lay in bed every night, strolling, calling her in New York.
I'm gonna text her when we get done. Be like, hey, scrub your TikTok. Scrub your TikTok. Your dad's about to get on.
I heard her mom rowdy a while back, and they were in there scrubbing it together. And you probably know what kind of.
But no, there's all kind of car salesmen on TikTok, and they give you like, hey, go into the car dealership like this, do that, and dude, there's all these how to. That's where I was looking at this, going, all right, I'm talking to a real car dealer. I want to see how much of this stuff is true.
Well, a lot of it's very true.
Really?
I could tell you that the industry is aggressively moving away from that, and dealers that try to stay in the old way, they're going to die real soon. They're dying already. We got to evolve. We got to be non-haggle. Nissan, for example, I met with Nissan 2 days ago, and I signed up for a program. Costs us money every month, but to be in the industry, you're moving in this direction. It's the Nissan Buy at Home program, where you never have to come to the dealership. There's no negotiating on the price. Prices are set online. Trade appraisal tools online. Take pictures of your car. It's all done. You don't got to come in. So that's where the industry's headed. Do I like that? I can't stand the thought. I don't like it.
That's like, what is that car? That other place that like the elevator Carvana? Or something.
So, and I don't like that. That's not. When I think about my family's future and our business, it's decision time, and we have made that decision. It's either the grow or die and evolve. And it's tricky for me because I don't really want to learn anything new right now. I'm 45. Just can't even imagine the life that I've been blessed with.
Right.
And I don't really want to go force myself. And I don't want to be a student of the business anymore. Yeah. I love to use my instincts and talk to people and stuff. But the business is changing so much that the business that I know is not the business that I can teach my kids.
Yeah.
It's just different because it won't work.
Right. Same thing in my business. Yeah, it's different.
So we are now in this whole like reinvention of ourselves type situation. Yeah.
So those numbers online, because we're talking about set numbers. Now of course, this isn't now. It's like, oh, we're so old now. No, this has been going on for years. I've never trusted online sales for cars because I always felt like it was just this number. But how much negotiate? Like, so if someone goes on BenoitFord.net, and they get on there and they see 53,000, is that a set price, or can you come in and work?
Hey, I tell everybody, box as hard as you can, but we're not going to let you leave if we're making any money at all.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: full transparency. Majority of my time in the car business since 1998 was whatever you own a car for. I don't know, pick a number. Just the accounting office, you just automatically set it in the system. Okay, we own it for $20,000. All right, list it at 24, and we'll let them beat us up over 2. 22 is the number we'll take. 24 is the number we're going to put it out there for. Right? We own it for 20, and whatever.
Negotiation.
We try to average $3,000 around front and back. Right. You know the story. So, which ain't a lot. Just our overhead's about $1 million a month. Trust me, that's not all profit. But okay, so what we do now, we have invested. We actually, it's frustrating. Actually, I just invested between all the stores. It's $10,000 a month in a new platform because we're moving into compete with Carvana World and everything. Yeah. So, and we're not going to compete with them. We're going to kill them because we're real people,
right?
In your community that takes care of you and your kids.
People here want to be able to go to.
Yeah, and I got to. If I'm going to drop big change, I got to touch the car.
Yeah,
period,
for sure.
Period. So, what we do now is we don't price cars based upon what we have in the car. Literally this morning, Isaiah Langley, the sales manager at the Ford store, and that's the building we're in right now. So I walked in there and said, "How's your day?" He said, "Man, I'm just frustrated." I said, "Why are you so frustrated?" He said, "I just sold this, I don't know, Hyundai Telluride or whatever.
Yeah.
He said, "Man, it was only 10 days old. Like it just got on the lot. And I had to sell it yesterday and lose $1,000 on the online price." And I know what y'all are thinking. What a lying car guy. They don't really do all that to lose money. Well, heck no, we don't. We don't like to lose money. We make a lot of money, but we also lose money on individual transactions at times.
Right.
I haven't looked into that transaction, but what I can tell you is that that vehicle was priced based upon what the current market value needed to move that car for.
Right. So if you bought it at that,
If I owned it, if I bought it wrong, that ain't the customer's problem. Because the online shopper, they don't care about my margin. They care about the best deal in that car for them. So if you want to have the best margins, you got to have the best used car guy buying your cars.
And you do.
And I do.
Yeah, and you do. Yeah.
But sometimes, Mr. Customer, when you're in here, and you bring in the father-in-law coaching from the cheap seats, the deal, savior.
Absolutely.
You done beat us up for 3 days online, and then Paul gonna come show you how to really beat us up.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing left to beat.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you threw in the white flag. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but we don't. But sometimes when Paul shows up in that deal, we still want to sell a car. We're just competitors,
right?
And we will sometimes go up in a trade probably more than we should.
Right.
Well, that car is going to go on the lot and be priced according to this marketing tool, how it needs to be priced to move.
So you're going to lose money on that.
So
deal,
I might lose money on this one to that one, in full transparency, we don't lose a lot of money on cars.
Right.
But it does.
We wouldn't be doing this if you did.
It does happen, though.
Right.
And when a car turns 60 days old on my used car lot, if it hadn't sold in 60 days, it doesn't mean it's a bad car. Yeah. Maybe my salesman, maybe the owner, me, or the used car director, Chris, or my partner, or maybe we didn't do a good job getting our people excited about that car, and so the car didn't market and it didn't go. And doesn't mean it's the car's fault.
Right.
This could be the people's fault. That car might be hot for somebody else down the road. And so at 61 days, the car's no longer here.
Gotcha.
So if I bought it at the auction or bought it wholesale from a wholesale transaction 60 days ago, well, it's fair to say that if I have to retail it 60 days later, I'll still be fine. But if I have to wholesale it 60 days later, it's devalued over the past 2 books.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Well, we're going to wholesale it on day 61. So around day 30, we start pricing them wholesale pricing because we would rather, if we're going to sell a car for a price at the auction or to another dealership or to a wholesaler, we would rather retail it to a customer because at least we get a customer out of it.
Absolutely.
And maybe
you get somebody part of the family.
And more importantly, maybe a trade from that customer that replaces that car.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a service customer.
Yeah.
So, we don't really, our whole business is not about just what the actual front end transaction is.
I gotcha. So right now, let's close with this. Should a customer with the rising interest rates now, is now a good time to buy? Because I know it all depends on circumstance. If you need a car,
I think it is,
but I don't think interest rates are coming down anytime soon. I mean,
and people are going to have to buy cars in the next year.
Yes.
And so guess what? I personally believe, and I'm not the feds, and I'm not the economy, and I'm not very smart at all. But what I think is the rates are lower today at this moment in time. If you show up here today, they're the lowest they're going to be any day for the next year. So if you want to buy a car anytime in the next year, it don't get any better than this, from a rate standpoint.
Yeah.
I would also share earlier, Brady, that and I don't even know what Brady's asking me. I walk in here and sit down and we just start talking, which is why I'm so sloppy. But you mentioned 2004 earlier.
Right.
Interest rates in 2004 were probably what they are now.
Yeah. I think I financed that one at 2.9.
But it was probably a special rate. It wasn't like we can do 0% through incentivized rates.
Right.
But standard economy, feds, all that stuff. Somebody Google it. What was the Federal Reserve interest rate in 2004 versus what it is today? The reality is what it's been the past 8 years is what's unprecedented.
Right, because they were so low.
It's just now about to be normal.
Right.
So people bought cars when they were in 2004 and they actually felt like they got good deals.
Right.
And it was no different than it is now.
Yeah.
So people are going to adjust.
Gotcha.
It's going to be what it's going to be.
All right. Well, hey, I think that's it for this one. Again, leave comments. I really want to do some giveaways for the December 1st podcast. We're going to post these the first of every month, at least for the next 6 months. We kind of gave ourselves 6 months on these, but I think we should do some giveaways. I don't know if we can do Visa card preloaded giveaways for some families.
There ain't nothing that we won't do, especially December. We'll call it Christmas.
We'll do some Christmas giveaways because I know that you've always talked about even your employees to go let your kids have a good Christmas.
Absolutely.
So bonuses and all that, but we can do that for the people actually watching and listening and sharing. And so we'll probably do some competitions next podcast on if you share this, you get to put in a drawing or something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that. So pay attention, keep tuning in. I always say that. No one tunes in anymore. It's not a dial anymore.
I shouldn't do Tune in Tokyo. Wasn't that I said on the TV
Tune in
show?
Tokyo?
No, don't Google Tune in Tokyo.
I don't know what that is, and I don't know what
Google
I just
it.
said. Don't
Google
Google
it.
that.
You might want to edit that,
Yeah.
Bray.
Hey, well, thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, see you later.